Should have been a cowboy. Should have learned to rove and ride.
Last night at the 59th Annual ACMA Awards, Jason Aldean stole the show with an emotional tribute to one of the icons of the genre, Toby Keith. He passed away on February 5th after a courageous battle with stomach cancer that was very public, and he used his diagnosis to also support philanthropic efforts very generously for pediatric cancer patients. This is something that was very personal to him, that he went above and beyond for, while also dealing with such a difficult battle himself. He had the respect and love of all of his peers. He was very well liked. And of course, Jason Aldean made that very clear how much he meant to him up on stage last night. Performing this song, Should Have Been a Cowboy, an iconic song from the late singer that Jason says he's been performing since the early days of his career, covering it in dive bars. You could tell it meant a lot to him. He released the live version of it out, available now on streaming services for those of you who haven't heard it. And this performance was so good and so meaningful that actually Toby Keith's family reached out and shared online thanking Jason Aldean for this beautiful tribute. And, you know, with award shows, it's always a mixed bag. Sometimes tributes are disappointing, or they're not what you thought they would have been, or sometimes there's even omissions. But we got to give the ACMAs a lot of credit here because they did this one right. It was beautiful. And you could just tell how much love and care went into putting this all together. And so that's understandably, the family was very proud of how it turned out as well. And so Jason Aldean is speaking about what that song meant to him on his social media. We're going to get reaction as well from the family, which also spoke out about this. And Toby Keith was diagnosed in the fall of 2021, and this was major news at the time. But, you know, in years past, not a lot was known about it, the state of his battle. He even was giving interviews just a couple of weeks before his passing, which made it all the more heartbreaking. He was talking about how he was courageously battling it until that heartbreaking announcement did come on February 5th. Now, something many of you knew about Toby Keith was just how patriotic he was and how much of an ardent defender he was of the U.S. service members around the world who courageously defend us here in America. And courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue is also an iconic song from him, one that's still in constant rotation. And that song was released at a time, you know, in the wake of 9/11, when so many people were feeling anger and outrage. And it was just a song that was released at the right time, considering all that was happening in this country. And you know that came from a very real place with Toby Keith, as we saw throughout his entire career, of the support that he had and the patriotism that he always showed. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a heartbreaking loss because there'll never be someone else quite like Toby Keith here in country music. Now, this is what Jason Aldean had to say about this very special performance last night at the ACMAs. So this is backstage before the show, Jason Aldean getting ready to go out and honor Toby Keith. And you can see here from the ACM Awards, it doesn't get more country than this. Jason Aldean's tribute performance has us all raising our red solo cups in memory of Toby Keith. I love the strings that they had there as well. DJ Silver, so good, buddy. I couldn't agree more, brother. And this is Jason Aldean announcing that this is up on streaming services now. Should Have Been a Cowboy Live. And he wrote, "A song that I've played ever since I started playing clubs as a teenager. Thank you, Toby, for the mark you left on country music. And thank you to his family for letting me be a part of Should Have Been a Cowboy Live from the ACM Awards. It's available to stream everywhere now." And then we have this beautiful statement here from Toby Keith's family. It says, "The Covell family would like to thank Jason Aldean for the wonderfully touching performance at the ACM Awards tonight. It was the perfect tribute to Toby Keith." So what an honor that has to be for Jason Aldean, that, you know, you do a tribute, and the most important thing when you're doing something like this is you want to make sure the family's happy. You want to honor the family. You want to make sure they're proud of the tribute that you did for their loved one. And so I know that had to mean a lot to Jason. And he's right here in the comments saying, "It was an honor, and your stamp of approval means everything. Thank you, Toby Keith and the Covell family." Toby Keith, what an extraordinary artist. There will never be another one like him. And a beautiful tribute from Jason Aldean. And shout out to everybody at the ACM Awards who made this happen. It was a beautiful tribute. One of the better tributes you see at an award show. That's your latest update here from CountryCast. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button for the latest news and updates about your favorite artists.